जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यं यो एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नेत्ति मामेत्ति सोऽर्जुन.
Now he's saying Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Yo Veti Tattvata. Last time we did this. Taktam Dehet Punarjanam Net Mamet Soarjun. It says somebody who knows me like this what he has been telling earlier, that this is how I am. Whenever there is need arises, then I create the souls and then I only give them messages. That is how I, for the sake of dharma, that is how I am creating myself. So he says the one who knows me, that what for? He is telling how, what is the, what for he emanates and what all works he does and how he is. So he says, if you are knowing me like this, then Tyaktam Deham Punarjanam Nain Mamit Swarga. He says, the one who knows me like this, that when his body relinquishes, when the body is gone, then he comes to me only. He is me only. Mam eti means two things. That he comes to me and he is me. Mam eti, main hi hu, means that is me only. And mam eti means he comes to me. Both ways it can be seen. So how you are seeing this, that if I know that this is that, here two things very important. He is saying somebody who knows me like this, he doesn't come to this. Then how is it? If you come to know that this is water, then how you get transformed? That is the key there. Janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvata. If essentially you know that this is like this, then you become verily me only. That's the meaning of that. So that then you do not come back. Because I do not come back. So coming back is when you have that I have come. So you come to know how he is, so you become that. That is the meaning there. But there is a maryada, that you become, he is water, you become drop of water, same as he is. But you stay drop and he is as he is ocean. That is the maryada. So Ahankar makes it like that. If ego sprouts, they say no, now I am only the ocean. That is where people make mistake. Otherwise there is no difference. That is what he is saying. And in all scriptures everywhere, every saint says the same thing. That so janahi jin deo janai, Tulsi says in his own language. All others are saying, saints who realize that by knowing him, janat tumhe hue jai. The one who comes to know you, he verily becomes you. That is the meaning. Yes.
वीतराग भय क्रोधाः मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूतमद्भावमागतः.
So he is giving now examples that those who have become like Vitarag, whose duality has dissolved, the Bhaya Krodha, whose fear has gone, whose anger is gone. See how the fear is sprouted, how is the rag sprouted, all these duality, what is behind them, how they come into being. Who wants to? Is anybody who reads good things, will he or she ever want to imbibe bad things into them? No. But still people do. What is the reason? So there is a process to eliminate that. But is why these things come, how these are coming. Be it rag. Rag duality comes until you have your identity you are upholding. No, this is me, or everything should fit into this. Then I am fine. That is what, because it is not like that. So you yourself have made your identity. That whole world should fit into this, what I have understood. So that creates fear, anger, when it is not happening like that. And how can it happen? Bird cannot be pygmy like your mind. It is the way it is. you want to make it small. So it is against reality. So then you are attached to that what you have created. So then when it is not getting fulfilled that way, so you become angry. Any desire, when it is not fulfilled, then anger comes. He says, Beat Rag Bhaya Krodha. Here you have that is unknown, because it is not coming into your perspective, in your parameter, then you fear it as other. That I do not know. You are going in an unknown zone. And you have, oh, somebody should not destroy my this identity, because you have already made one. So you do not have that welcoming attitude that no, if I am divine, then what else has to come? Will come better only. Why it can come something negative? Have I done such kind of karma or why? So that way he says, Beat Rag Bhaya Krodha Manmaya. The ones who have become like me, Manmaya, their chitta is into me only. So they have forgotten themselves. And I am good. I have no fear. So slowly they also will forget the fear. They will also feel I am not two. So they will also forget duality. I am not attached to anything. So they will also forget, because Machitta. They are attached to my chitta. They have become like my consciousnesses. Their consciousness is also becoming like that. So he says, Man Maya Mam Upasrita. So those who have become devoted to me and Mam Upasrita. Upasrita means those who are near me all the time. Ashrit means dependent. So there is surrender. Ashrit, somebody is going to be surrendered. So he says Mam Upasita. So these are the stages also. He is narrating that slowly, like this, when they become Mat Chitta, and then they will slowly become Mam Upasrita also. Bahava Jnana Tapsa Puta Madhbhavam Avuta. So he is giving example from the history that earlier so many came to me like this. Yes.
ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः.
So see how things are related. We were talking that this Angusht Matram. Here he is saying Madhbhagam Agata means that whatever bhav you have, accordingly you will get. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Those who are the way they are following me, the way they see me, accordingly in that relation only I will also fit in whatever way they are trying to see me, I will accordingly become like that. Tans tatha bhajamyaham. That way only I also become. Mam vartman anuvartante manushya parth sarvasa. And how I am, every being is behaving accordingly only. As I am, this is little deeper. Man vartman anuvartante. There is nobody else to imitate other than me myself. Because I am alone. When I alone exist, then if second copy is created, who ultimately it will follow? It has to dissolve into me. Difference is that one is knowing, other is not knowing. That is the difference of our positions. As Jivatma, some Jivatma gets liberated and comes to know one's real position, one's real identity. Others do not come to know. And so they keep making their journey in the mode of ignorance. Those who have come to know, they keep their journey also, but in the mode of knowledge. So he says there is none else to follow. All are following me only. Some are knowing, others are not knowing. So this is everywhere. From this will come. That's what I say in one sentence what he has said, that I am there and you are my answer. Any scripture you read, from any religion you read, same thing is being told. There somewhere it is being told very clearly. That is the difference. Some teacher you have, they are very methodical. They will tell everything very clearly. Others are also teaching the same theorem, but their way you find it difficult. And that is the difference. So he is saying Because if one alone is there, then how can there be anything else? So some people find it difficult they are following some religion, they find difficult, but they are attached to the religion now, not to the truth. So they get grouping there. If truth is, then they will go, which is the first one, from where all it is coming. Automatically all this scaffoldings will fall and they will reach to the reality what is eternal. Where from it came, this is the path. This is the way easiest to follow. So, Rag Dves, it is very deep. Rag Dves you can even develop to the methods. That is all the making of the all religions and sampradayas, because they have fallen for something, some frame, not for the reality. How they are, that's it. So he says there is none other than me. So why can't you come directly? That's what he's saying. Partsarsa.
काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
His language is so simple. This is a dialogue between two people talking to his friend. So very by this, after this you will say this, after this, very clear language it is. So first he is saying, no, there is only me who to be followed. He says, Kanchatam karuna siddham yajantam yudeta. And that is how all religions are created. This is the second. He said they want something. Kanchatam means iksha karna, to desire. Karmana siddham, in their work they want some kind of success. Yajantam yudeta. So they accordingly, who will give success in that, they start worshipping or following that. And that is how a thing is created. That is how many devatas are created. Because they have you simple words. If you want to learn some computer skills, who knows that package, you will go to that. If you make it to the divinity that if this is happening in the process of your realizational knowledge, there also it is happening. If somebody is telling you, no, this is the way, and you find according to your tendency and this suits me, but he said, no, if you do this small devata, it will give you this, and you are attached to finding to that desire that whatever be the liberation or reality, now I want to enjoy this fruit. So you start following, by then your life is gone, your tendencies are created. Next time when you are born, all those tendencies and things will be there again, you have to undergo the same thing. So he said, this is what, even in this world you say, Chipre hi manushya loke siddhar bhavati karmaja. He says, how it is not possible to come to me, it is possible. Even in the world, if you see, if you want to learn a thing and you put yourself across to it, in not much time you become successful. So when it is possible here in this world, why it will not be more possible there? So he is removing those doubts which come into the mind in the form of doubt, the things that how it is possible, because there are two kinds of feeling. Sometimes you think it is too easy, sometimes you think it is too tough. So he is telling that no, neither it is too easy nor it is too tough. It is what it is. If you do it correctly, then you reach there. Like you get success in the world, there also you get success.
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम्.
So he said this whole existence, which is made of three gunas, Sat, Raj, Tam, and if they are put into certain order, then guna karma vibhagsta. So then this is Chatur Varna, which is four kinds of tendency to work. Some are prone to knowledge, some are prone to work physically, some are prone to business, some are prone to serve. So that is what Chatur Varna. It has another meaning also, that this is very proficient style I have created. Chatur Varna, Chaturta also is there. That this is not necessarily referring to these Chatur Varna. referring to the efficient and proficient mode of existence, how it is. These three gunas, satrajtam, how they can be put in such a order that it is very proficient. This creation, this existence becomes very good to see. Say that is how it has been. Chaturvarn maya srishtam. This is made by me. Or it is made of me, both me. Maya srishtam. This is me only. Tasya kartara pimam vidya. And the one who has done it or who is doing it, that also you consider me only. Kartaram abhyayam. And I am indispensable. I am inexhaustible. Abhyaya means it cannot be exhausted. So what he is indirectly saying is this creation is me only. There is no difference between me and the existence. That is the meaning. That just indication he has given, and their diversity appears to be there, and in the what you call background of that diversity, or in the, you see, background you say, or you say gist, or you say its essence, there are three things. Satrajtam. Only out of these three, this whole diversity is appearing. Because Chaturvarnam, with very cleverly I have made it. So that is also the meaning. Made it like that. So there, the creator I am, this creation I am, and I am inexhaustible yet there. And I don't do anything despite doing all this. Akartaram. That is also one meaning. That I have not done anything by doing this. So that's why when we speak of the Atma, the first he has said this is a Ascharya Kijan. This is wonderful. That is the term given. Because you cannot comprehend it. You can only see. Aisa hai to. This is how it is. But you can't describe anything. So everywhere, because he is nestled into that, so his every word is coming from there only. So anything he says, it automatically connects to that. So that is how this dialogue is. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gun karma vibhagsa. That is how this whole is created. But I only have created. I am this, and yet I have not done anything, and I am inexhaustible. Yes.
Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spraha iti mam yobhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. So
this is constantly going, this line. Iti mam yo abhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. The one who knows me like that, he is not attached by karma. If I come to know you are good, how does it reflect on me? I know you are good. But why I will not get attached? This is to be understood clearly. That is what he is saying. If you know me like this, then you will become like this. That is the meaning, that if you experience, you know it to be the truth, then you get transformed. That is the meaning. If you know this is the truth, then will you like to follow untruth? That is the meaning. So he says, I am truth. If you know me, you will also become part of me. Only your superfluous things will go, then you are the same. Na mam karmani limpanti. These all karmas which I have done, I am not attached to that. They cannot be attached to me. Because that he already said that despite doing all this, I have not done anything. If I have not done, then how can karma attach to me? So he is creating the ground for further questions. Then he will ask how it is possible that you are saying you have created, you have done everything, and you are not attached to anything. So he is going in such a way that he is much and much he is provoked to ask. His clarity comes to him until he reaches to the reality of everything. So he says, Na mam karmani limbatti na me karma phal spraha. nor I am attached to the any karma, nor I am envious. Ispraha means why this thing is not there with me. No such thing is there. That karma phal means why I have done this and this result has not come. So no such attachment is there. Whatever result is coming, I am fine. In life, people should be like this. You have done what you are supposed to do. If you are doing what you should do, then how this idea will come into your head that this fruit should have come? If you are attached, then only this thing will stay. Otherwise, you have done what you are supposed to do. Whatever is coming, that is none of your business. You have to accept. Now, that means what? No, I will become lax, then I will not work. No, that has already been done. You have to work as best as you can. But not to the result, that this is what the result I wanted. So long as now you say, this is being spoken of higher stage. If I have not reached to that stage, fine, I will work at it. So that is called being truthful. So this understanding has to go with our own truth. That high lofty ideal is that. But have we reached to that stage? If not, then where we are, we work from there. Then someday we will reach there. That's what he is saying. Na mam karmani ki I am like that ki na mam karmani limpanti na me phal spraha. Mujhe both the things are not making any difference to me. Yati mam yo abhijanati iti mam yo abhijanati karma dhrna sabadhyate. If somebody knows me like this, he will also get unattached to the karma, because this is truth. So he is indicating truth in several ways. That this truth also, this way also, if you know, then also fine. You will also become detached. That is the thing. Yeah.
Evam jnatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshubhihi kuru karmaiva tasmat tvam purvaihi purvataram kritam.
So he says, yad gyatra. Like this, he says, this is not something new I am telling you. Like this, people earlier, mumukshu means those who are desirous of liberation. Those who want to have the desire to get liberated. They are called mumukshu. And the one who gets the result, becomes, then he is called a moksha, liberated one. Moksha prapti, jisko ho jayega, that is called liberated. And these are called desirous of liberation, mumukshu. मोक्ष की इच्छा रखने वाला मुमुक्षु. तो इसे यद ज्ञाता कृतम कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षु भी, like this only earlier. Purva means earlier also. People have come to know, they knew like this what I am telling you now. Kuru karmaiv tasmat tvam. So you follow the tradition, you also do the same thing. So it is like somebody, you take entirely new things and he has no courage. How will I do this? When you tell somebody also have done earlier, then you said, okay, if so one man has done, then I can also do. So he is removing all those pitfalls from his mind. Wherever he can find that I will feel weak here. So he is removing all those possibilities of the weakness. That you need not feel weak, others have done it earlier. You can also do. So you do what has been done by your ancestors or people. Yes.
Kim karma kim karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaah tatte karma pravakshami yajñatva mokshase shubhat.
So now, because he has introduced there the second line, Kuru karmaiv tasmatvam, you do the karma. So now he will say, what karma I will do? What have my ancestors done? How will I know? They lived their life, I am living my life. How will I know? So whatever is coming into his mind, he is putting the way. He is just like spreading the carpet. You move on to this. But he is developing things, doubts that what they have done, how will I know? It is something new. So if you spread the carpet, you also tell how to put a step onto it. So he is saying, what is this? Kim karmam kim karmeti. What is karma and how to do it? Kabyo apyatra mohita. Kabi means wise ones. He say, in these matters, even wise ones, mohita means get eluded. What is karma? How to do it? In these matters, even the wise ones fail. They get deluded. They don't know. Tatte karmam pravakshami. To you I will tell that karma. Yaj gyatva mokshe ashubhat. By knowing that, you will get away from the ashubh, means the one which is undesirable, the one which is not good. So when you know the shubh, so you follow the shubh and you get away from the ashubh. Yeah.
कर्मण्यो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः.
So here he has devised the karma for the clarity in 3 divisions. Now this vocabulary is coming from Vedic knowledge. What is Vedic parampara? This is called Vedanta Gita. Means Vedant means all what was there in the Vedas that has been milked and put into the essence into this. What all is there into the Upanishads, that all has been milked and put into this. So it is the juice of the juice. That is how people value it so much. We call it Prasthan-trayee. Means 3 things. In that this Gita comes. Yoga Sutra, this Brahma Sutra, Upanishads and Gita. So this vocabulary was in use. He is telling that 3 divisions: karma, vikarma and akarma. Karma is in 3 divisions. One is karma, one is vikarma and one is akarma. Karmano hyapi bodhyabhyam. So he says karma bhi janna chahiye. One should know what is karma. Bodhabhyam cha vikarmana. And vikarma also should be known. Akarmanascha cha bodhabhyam. Gahino karmano gati. Akarma should also be known, because the dynamics or working of the karma is gahan, means very deep. Gahan means very mysterious also. Gahan means like it, you see, when you go into a jungle and the trees suddenly increase, rivers increase, vegetation increases, and the all wild animals increase an amount of different kinds of gahan. Means earlier you were seeing sparse, more deep you go, you find more and more. Now we have to move. Oh, this also should be taken care of. This also should be taken care of. I should be careful of this or that, because new things are coming. So this gahanata means that when you go deep, there you find what to be done, what not to be done. So he divides in 3 ways. So karma. Now, what is karma? What is vikarma and akarma? It's a tough, because cannot be exactly told. It is, otherwise it will become same thing, that same everywhere you will apply and do the same thing. You understand this? It is like devising some ritual. It is not like this. It is like opening up of your wisdom so that you can find out what is karma here, what is akarma and what is vikarma. You understand? Difference. Your wisdom should become like this, that you can identify what I am doing now, is it karma, akarma or vikarma. Not that there is a definition. Because life situations are changing every moment. Cannot be defined. Today, earlier suppose you used to sit on the ground and eat. Now you are sitting on dining table. You have reached there. So if some definition was told earlier, this is the only way, you will find a figure. Now live or not to live, that way. So in every situation it is changing. And one has to accept what is there, because accordingly then you work for the better.
कर्मण्य कर्म यः पश्येद् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृत्.
So he says the one who can decipher or find out what is karma even in akarma, and what is there in pashed karmani cha karmaya akarmani, and what is in akarma, what is the karma. So he says sa buddhimanesu manusyeshu sah yukta krishna Kritsna karma krit. He says such a person is called wise among the men. Same thing, no? That how to become wise so that you can decipher what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. Now vikarma has not been defined anywhere. Others people have tried, so many vidwans tried to define karma and akarma. And akarma they have come to this mostly as the traditional knowledge goes, that where you are not attached to what you are doing. Something what the vidhi is there, but you are following that, but you are not attached to its fruit. So despite doing everything, you don't do anything. That is the position of the akarma. Now you do everything. You have reached to that stage where you are not doing anything, yet you are all the time doing, because there is no escape from karma. So karma has not been defined as idleness, because you can't stay idle. But there are certain karmas also. So it is, karma is basically kriya. Something is happening. It is not the noun, it is the verb. Karma. It is happening. So that has to be. In life, karma comes mostly as kriya, in the form of something you are engaging into. Like now we are speaking, it's a kriya. Will we call it a karma or a kriya? Because I am speaking, you are listening. Listening is a kriya, it's an active, but it's a karma. हम सुनने का काम कर रहे हैं, हम बोलने का काम कर रहे हैं. So karma it is, but it is in the form of kriya. Now what should be spoken? That should be in the field of akarma. That alone, if you speak what should be spoken, then it is knowing karma into akarma. So that is the position. It's the karmanya akarma, karmanya karma ya pashyed. The one who sees karma in akarma and in akarma the karma, that person is called wise, and by doing everything, kritsna karma krit yukta sa, he only does the things, but kritsna is the one who does. What all this existence is known as kritsna. Only ta is, half ta is there between. If you put a small ta in the Krishna, that is called kritsna. So that is meant doing. So, kritsna akarma, krit. The one who is doing this but stay as undoer also. Yeah.
This akarma and naishkarma karma.
Ha, they are same. They are same.
यस्य सर्वे समारंभाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पंडितं बुधाः.
He says, yes, sarve samarambha kam sankalp varjita. So, different way telling the same thing, that if you, whatever you work you start, if it is not driven by the worldly desire, because without desire you can't work. You have to have desire, then only you can work. But right desire and wrong desire. So here he is saying, when he is kam sankalpa varjita means wrong desire. When you begin your work with a wrong desire. What is the wrong desire? Which is not yajna. that is wrong desire. If your work is for yag, dan and tap, then there is no desire. For it is for only for the universal cause, then there is no desire in it. So he says, when you start a work, yes, the ones whose works are beginning is with the desirelessness, or in other words, for the universal cause, for the yagna. That is Gyan Agni Dagdh Karmanam Tamahu Pandit Buddha. So, how can this happen? When with the fire of knowledge. Knowledge is fire. Why it is called fire? Because all undue attachments, all fears, all dualities, when it comes to the knowledge, all will be burned. Because knowledge will show you like a mirror that this is not real. This is your weakness, that you are attached to something. Other than what should be done, yag, dan, tap, if you are doing anything other than that, means you are attached to something in the world. So knowledge will tell this, so it's a burned those things. That is not like that. Why it is burned? Because it's tough to uphold it. So if you read anything which is spoken by any wise person, you come to know how the world is. But whether we are upholding that, this is again left to us. That is the whole thing. So he is saying, Gyan Agni Dagdh Karmanam Tamahu Pandit Buddha. And now by knowing alone, he is clearly speaking, yes, Sarve Samarambha, that by knowing you will begin something doing. No? Otherwise, what is the point of that knowledge which is not never put into practice? It is no more knowledge. He says, when you put into knowledge and when it is burned by the fire of knowledge, Gyan Dagdh Karmani. So that person is called Panditah Buddha. And that person is called Pandit, means the one who has come to know the reality. Pandit's definition Kabir gives in his own words, that ढाई आखर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित होए, पोठी पढ़ जग मुआ पंडित भया न कोई. By reading so many scriptures and books, all have died. He is a kind of making fun of them. Jag mua, because by knowledge you don't die. If you are getting the spiritual knowledge, that leads you to the immortality. You don't die. So he says, no, people, those who have read scores of books, pothi padi jag mua, they all died, means they did not get the real knowledge. So his language is so full of so many things into it. That is why it is called Ulat Basi. Means one meaning of the Ulat Basi is that's in a very tedha meda way of saying, not very clear, but it is terse. He said, Pothi padi jag mua pandit bhaya na koi. Nobody became knowledgeable. Because dhai akhar prem ka padhe su pandit ho. If only there are 2.5 letters in when you write prem or pyar, there is only 2.5 letters. We say if that is read properly, then you become pandit. So same thing he is saying, Gyan Dagdh Karmana Tamahu Panditam Buddha, the one who comes to know, because you can do yag, dan, tap only when you need this whole existence is you only. Nothing is there which is not you. So when who you love yourself. Nobody else you love. You love only yourself. But how you are, that makes the difference. If you are not whole, then you cannot love. That is why affection and love people cannot differentiate. Affection is to a limited set of people, limited things. But love is for whole. So when you know you are whole, then only you can love. These are the things.
त्यक्त्वा कर्म फला संगम नित्य तृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किंचित् करोति सः.
So he says, when you have become like this, that what you so tyaktva karma phala sangam. So you renounce the fruit of the work, because karma to karma hai. Work will be there. So he is not saying renounce the work. There he is saying only find the difference between what is karma, karma and vikarma. That is it. So, but fruit you can renounce. You can be unmindful of taktva karam phala sangam nitya tripto nirashraya. Nitya tripto, then you become satisfied with. When you are involved in work and you are not thinking about the fruit, will you not become tript, satisfied? Why this dissatisfaction is there? Because something you are doing and you are looking for the result of it. That this way its result should come. And you are doing it with the limited mind and you are looking for the limited result. So he says, in that way you cannot become satisfied. If you do not do this, you renounce that fruit, then nityatrapto, all the time you will be satisfied. So slowly, when this has become a practice, that will become santosh, contentment. Over the periods, how something is ripe, it transforms. So all the virtues, they transform into one another. They were something like a small child, sometime it becomes a grown-up man. Same way, a virtue when for a long time followed, it transforms something else. So here say, if you become nityatrapto, that all the time satisfied, then it will become transformed into contentment, santosham. Nirashraya, when you are satisfied, when you have become santoshi, means contented, then nirashraya words here is for the world, ashraya for the worldly ashraya. Because you are dependent on worldly things. Success and failure you map in the terms of world only. When I have told that you are the truth, you don't need anything. In essence, you don't need anything, but you say, but I need food, I need shelter, I need clothing. These things are needed. So there is a way to go for that. That is what he says, the Srishti has been created like that. If you involve yourself right way, these things will be provided to you. This only. But people are asking more than that. Then you are in trouble. Because those are not your needs. You are roaming into wants, then you have to suffer. Everything you cannot say, no, this also, it will not go right. So he said, nitya taptu nirashra. Then you are not dependent on the world, if you have become like that. Karmanya bhi pravritto api naiv kinchit karoti sa. The one who is working this way, even despite doing everything, he is not doing anything. So he is, because he is, this query will come into head that you say, I have created this, I have not done anything despite doing anything, how it is? So he is answering that. If you have become like this, then despite doing everything, you are not doing anything. What kind of curiosity it arouses in the seeker? Accordingly, he is telling that. Because one time he is saying, you are part of me, you are me only, and then he places the difference. Other gets confused that why, how you are saying all this. One time you put yourself on such a high pedestal, and then you bring to the my size, and then I get confused. So tell me the clear way, so that I follow the carpet you have laid for me. So that is why he is telling everything. That is why we say that one real question should be asked. Because what you have got to do? It is sea, this is ocean, books are there. But you pothi padi, what will you do? What is your real, that this is my position, how to move from here? That is what they are talking to one another. Yes.
निराशीर्यद चित्तात्मा त्यक्त्वा सर्व परिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वान्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्.
निराशीर्य चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रह. So what we nirashi is what we are saying here, no expectation. Nirasha means having no expectation. Nirasa means that. Nirasa doesn't mean hopelessness. Nirasa means not having expectations. Nirasirya Yat chittatma. And yat means balanced. Chit, all four antahkarana, that should be balanced. Your mind, your ego, your memory, whatever. So all four should be in balance. Chittatma. And Atma, that should be following the Atma. That Chitta should be following Atma. Tyakt sarva parigraha. So, by renouncing all what is superfluous, only one can get to the essence. So he says sarva parigraha, by renouncing all what is outside. Sariram kevalam karmam. What is necessary for the body? So he is not renouncing the karma which are necessary for the body. It says Sariram kevalam karmam kurban napnoti kilbisha. Kilbisha means sins. Sin means when you do something which you should not do. That is the definition of the sin. Something which you should not do, if you do, a different degree of sin. Something which is entirely forsaken, there are big things. If some mosquito is killed when he is biting you, 1 degree of something, and something, not doing any harm to you, that is killed, it's another degree. So he's saying, if you are doing what is necessary for the upkeep of your body, then there is no sin. Kurbanapnoti kilvisham. So if you are working like this, nirasi, that you are not having any expectation, yat chit, your chit is balanced, atma, it is devoted to the soul, tyakt sarv parigraha, that's all you have renounced, which are anatma, whatever is there. So where are you renouncing all this? Only in your consciousness. But it is reflecting in your behavior. Otherwise it becomes false. So how you define truth and false? You only can define for yourself. Whether to what degree you are true or what degree you are not. That's why I say, in the beginning I said this so many times, that even if you are speaking lie to the whole world, it is okay, but you should not lie to yourself, because that is the end of it. You lose the chance of ever coming to the truth if you start lying to yourself. Just be true to yourself. Slowly you become truth for the whole world, because if that fire is burning within, you cannot stay long by becoming the giving the same truth to all. That's how it is. Yes.
यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतो विमात्सरः समः सिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते.
See, so this is coming very logical way. What is, because it is, as I said, dialogue. So if you do sariram kevalam karmam, then this is the second thing which will happen to you. So there is a sequence into it. Yad draksha lava santusto. When you are working for the sariram and you are not working for anything else, expectation. So yad draksha lava santusto. Whatever is coming, you are satisfied with that. You may have put so much work, but result comes something else. But since you are not attached to the fruit of it, whatever is, you are satisfied with that. Okay. You call suppose 1,000 people and 4 came. So you are not ruing over the fact why these less number. And if you call 4,000 comes, then you are not overwhelmed by 1,000 have come. And it is their fortune, they have come. This way also you can say the same thing. So have you done your work or not? So whatever is coming, yad draksha lav santusto, whatever is coming, you are dvandatito, you are not involved in that duality, because you are your center. What you have got to do with the world? You only will stay when this body is gone, everything then, but you only will be there. All this what you have been talking and doing, there is nothing. Suddenly. So he say yadraksha lav suntushto. If you are aware in that reality all the time, then nothing is going to touch you. Dvandvatito vimatsara. And you are not having any matsarya, means having that why I do not have this, others have. I did these efforts, I did not get result, others are getting. No. Why? Where is the other in that? If he is not your part, it is not right knowledge. Samah siddhao siddho chakrtvapnaniva. The one who is even in success and failure. Siddhi means safalta and asiddhi means asafalta. Sama, uska evenness is not disturbed. So every word he is speaking on the same meter. That only thing you can do is what you should do. If you become capable of doing that, then things will fall in line. And that is doable thing. He is telling the same thing which you are calling yag, dan, tap or nishkarm karma or anything. Sresht karma. Become capable of that. So he says, then he is kriptapinyanivate. Despite doing everything, he is not getting bound by the karma, the fruit, because he has already renounced the fruit. Then how can he get bound? Because it cannot happen dual way. No, that if I am not attached to the world, still I will get the karma's fruit. No, he will not get. So he is telling that how I created all and how I am not means in a way get attached to it. So that is why this is not touching me. I have this whole existence is through me, or I am only this existence. Still I am not connected to anything. I am not. This is in me. I am not in it. Despite my being creating it, I am not in it because I have no attachment. Yes, if you get attached to me, then you also come. So that is what he is bringing him to the essence through every word.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasaha yajna charatah karma samagram praviliyate.
देखो आगे वही गत संगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञाना अवस्थित चेतसा. Gat sangas means not attached to anything. Sang means to be with, and gat sangas means not with anything. Gata means removing, gone. Gata sangas. Then you are not attached to anything. Gata sangas muktas. So you have become free. When you are not attached to anything, then what is your position? Free. So you say gat sangas, you become free. So it is synonym only. What is the difference? So something he has to speak, so he is speaking. Gata sangas. You can say simply that mukt. You are free. But he is saying, no, you become free when you are not attached to anything. Gata sangas. There is no attachment, so you are free. Jnana avasthit. When you are free, so then you become in jnana avastha. You are not attached to anything, then you are seeing things as they are. Jnana avasthit chetsa. In your chaitana, in your consciousness is nestled into the reality. Jnana avasthit chetsa. Yagga charita. When you are nestled into the knowledge, then you will do yagna only. Yagga charta. You will do yagga. Nothing else is there, because that is what he is saying, that I am involved even when there is nothing for me to do, still I am doing yagdan and tap. So what he is doing, you also start doing the same thing. So when you are nestled into the knowledge, then yagga charita. You will also do the acharana, means behavior of that of the yagna. Through you, the behavior of yagna will happen. Karma samagram pravilite, and that is how all the karmas will get destroyed. Because in yagdan tap, in these things, when you are doing yagna, the way it should be done, then you are not attached to it, because you have already renounced its fruit. So what else is? Yes, that is how, see, that is how your karmas which are there from the earlier times, they will also get undistracted.